The Cleveland Cavaliers are winners yet again, this time down in Memphis, Tennessee by a score of 133 to 124. Really impressive victory for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And it's getting to the point where it's like, change the record. Anthony Moeglin in here hanging out with you tonight, running solo. We're going to gonna talk a little Cavs tonight as they move that win streak to 16 straight victories. And one of the biggest things that really stood out to me to start this game and to start kind of our post game coverage here is how fresh this team looked. Right, they finally got a chance to have a little bit of a break in their schedule, in their calendar, and they took full advantage of it. You saw a number of different clips from their trip this week. They really rushed out of town after the Brooklyn Nets game a few nights ago on Tuesday night. Flew down to Nashville to Darius Garland's stomping grounds and kind of got to hang out at Vanderbilt University. Got to experience some of the SEC tournament that's happening at Bridgestone Arena down in Nashville, and had some fun. Got to practice on the Commodores court, and then went out and played a little football on the field. So a ton of fun clips surfaced from that. We wrote a couple stories about it over on SI.com/NBA/Cavaliers. It's rolling right here. Remember to go check out all of our written content down there. But just unbelievable how this team continues to grow together and continues to have unbelievable team chemistry. And it was absolutely on display tonight. It was fun to see. So as some people are jumping in here, first of all, really appreciate you coming in and hanging out tonight. Get in that comment section. Let me know what you thought of tonight's game, of this Cavaliers performance. But looking at this box score here, again, just unbelievably impressive by the Cavs. You have 7 guys scoring double figures. 4 of them came from the bench. So your starters that went in double figures. Evan Mobley was spectacular tonight. Another double-double, 22 points, 11 rebounds on the night. Most importantly, he was 3 of 6 from 3 and had an awesome spurt where he had back-to-back triples on back-to-back possessions, which as he continues to develop that portion of his game, he becomes an absolute freak and an unstoppable force out there. So really nice night by Evan. Jared Allen, 16.6 rebounds, a good one for him. Darius Garland, 20 points and 9 assists on 3 of 11 from 3. You love the volume there. Want to see that make number start going up, but you love the 9 assists there. And now the 2 starters that didn't score in double figures. Isaac Okoro finished with 7 points and Max Strus finished with 9 points, but they were very efficient when they were shooting. Isaac was 1 of 2 from 3, was 3 of 4 from the floor. So really nice night there. And Strus, 2 of 4 from the field, 2 of 4 from behind the arc. He had 5 assists to go along with 4 rebounds. So really thought, even though they didn't fill it up, didn't pour in a ton of points for the Cavs, they were very efficient in what they needed to do. Now, going to the bench, DeAndre Hunter, this guy continues to be a difference maker for the Cavs. It almost feels like a cheat code when he's on the floor. He's impossible to score against. He's such an improved defender. We knew he was a good defender. He is so improved, and he's continuing to get better. He finished the night 18 points, 5 rebounds. He was 3 of 5 from behind the arc. That's the 3-and-D that you need from him, but he's so much more than that. He can attack off the bounce. He can suffocate a guy he's guarding, but he can also pour one in from behind the arc. He's been special. Fun fact about him, he hasn't lost since he's been a Cleveland Cavalier, so that's pretty damn impressive from DeAndre Hunter, and doing it in efficient ways. Again, 4 of 6 from the field, 3 of 5 from behind the arc. Ty Jerome, another incredible night, 12 points, 5 assists coming off the bench in just 17 minutes. He had that little stretch there where he hit a 3, got fouled and had 3 free throws, made all 3 of them. Then next possession comes down, hits that runner in the lane, and then has a 3-pointer to follow that. So he finishes the game 4 of 8 from the field, 1 of 4 from behind the arc, but 12 points in just 17 minutes. And then the X factor, Sam Merrill, 4 of 5 from 3, finished with 14 points. And I'll tell you what, when Merrill's shooting the ball like he did tonight and he's knocking them down, that unlocks yet another element of this Cavs team that you have to defend against. He's been streaky at times, and I've certainly been critical of some of his performances. But tonight, when he's clicking on all cylinders like he was, again, that just takes this Cavaliers offense. They don't need too many more levels, but when he's clicking, they're impossible to guard. And the perfect example of that was kind of the dagger play, where it was the Evan Mobley dunk that finished a fast break. But it got started off a deflection on the defensive side. Garland came charging down the center of the floor, and they basically had three guys on the right side to two Memphis defenders, and the Memphis defender was caught in a bind because the guy on the perimeter was Sam Merrill, who had made 4 3-pointers, and the guy on the block was Evan Mobley. And Merrill caught the ball, or Garland kicked it to Merrill. Merrill caught it on the 3-point line, ready to shoot it. The defender closed on him. He dropped the perfect bounce pass down. Mobley finished with a jam, timeout, get all the subs off the bench. It was an awesome play, and it really showed that, hey, even when he doesn't shoot the ball, he's still having a massive impact on the outcome. And then the big one tonight for me, Javante Green. Now, this is obviously a guy we acquired right after the trade deadline from the New Orleans Hornets. He was bought out of his contract there, came to Cleveland, and really came as like, hey, just an extra piece that you can throw at, a defensive piece that you could throw in there and really hassle some of the opponent's best players. But what he's turned into is a guy who's going to try to score it a lot. I love this. I'm going to read a funny stat line here. But in 14 minutes, he was 3 of 10 from the field. He was 2 of 8 from behind the arc. So this is a guy who, hey, he's got in the gym range, man, and he knows it, right? He gets in the gym. He feels like he's in range, and he's going to let that thing fly. Going to get his money's worth out of the minutes he plays, but finishes with 10 points, 4 rebounds. He did have the 1-3 that did go down. Was a big one for Javante as Memphis was trying to climb back into it, but he hit one kind of late in that fourth quarter to kind of restretch that Cavaliers lead back out. But the Cavaliers balance again shines through. This is a team that's going to win with team basketball. They can be star laden, but they're not going to be. And when your star is taking a seat for the game and you score 133 points and you beat the number 2 seed in the West by 20, well, I guess you end up winning by 9. But that late bench run, I'll kind of count that out. But without Donovan Mitchell, without your star player, you run the table and get your 16th straight victory. Just unbelievable stuff. And on the flip side of it, you outlast a career night from Ja Morant. Special night from Morant. Finishes with 44 points on the evening and was efficient as hell. 17 of 22 from the field. 17 of 22 from the field. Those are free throw type numbers. He was 17 of 22 from the field. 3 of his misses came from behind the arc. Had 8 rebounds, 7 assists. So was kind of filling up the stat sheet, doing what he needed to do to keep Memphis in the basketball game. But Cleveland's depth proved to be way too much. And most importantly, Cleveland's bench outplayed the Memphis bench, and we've seen that now. That isn't a surprise. Like we talk about it often. Like Cleveland's bench is very, very good, and the constant conversation around this team is that will they be able to go 10 deep in the playoffs? Should they go 10 deep in the playoffs? And every night they keep proving it. Like, hey, maybe Sam has a rough outing a couple nights ago, but then he comes out and he's ripping that thing from 3. Dean Wade probably wasn't his best night. Not something he's going to write home about. Only with 2 points, 1 of 4 from the field in 23 minutes. So not his best night. But he was hugely impactful against Boston a couple nights ago, and in some of these wins that Cleveland's had over this long stretch. So as these guys continue to play, you're like, hey, they don't have to trim this playoff roster down. They can keep these rotations the same. Maybe the leashes are a little bit shorter. Like, hey, if you're not playing good, he's going to pull you quicker. But you have confidence at any time that any lineup is in the game because these guys are just so darn good. They keep showing it and they keep proving it, and they have the opportunity to continue to prove it for this on this stretch. So after tonight, right, their 16th straight win. They're going to be on the road for a while. If you're a Clevelander like I am, you know that the Rocket Arena is occupied for the next at least week here as the MAC tournament's finishing up. I'll get a score of the current MAC game that's happening right now. But Akron, my Akron Zips here took care of business this afternoon, took down Toledo, and they're going to face the winner between Miami and OU. That's happening, or that's probably over right now. But after that, there's another. The first round of the NCAA tournament is in Cleveland, so the Rocket Arena is going to be occupied. So the Cavs will be on the road. They go on the road to to Orlando, and then they hit they're actually back home on Sunday for a quick stop home against Orlando, and then they go back on the road. They head out west. They take on the Clippers, the Kings, the Suns, the Jazz, and the Trailblazers before coming home on March 27th. So you got 2 weeks or so out west for these Cleveland Cavaliers. And you got a chance here to continue this win streak, right? They beat Orlando by 40 the last time they played them. So you're looking at that game as a big one for Cleveland to continue playing very well. Then you go out to LA, you take on a Clippers team, 37-30, led by James Harden. Still can go. They still have that in them. But, your Cavs are going to be favored there. A Kings team that hasn't really gotten it together. They're sitting right at 500, even after the trade for Zach LaVine, a guy that we're very familiar with, being that he played for the Bulls for a while. And then you take on the Suns and the Jazz, right? Back-to-back games. The Suns have been disappointing, 30-36. They still have KD, right? They're always, as long as KD's on the court, you're not going to feel great until that clock strikes triple zeros. But, you're going to be massive favorites there. You're going to be massive favorites against the 15-51 Jazz. And then you're going to be big favorites. Well, maybe not so much big favorites, but you're going to be favorites against the Portland Trailblazers. They gave us our toughest test in this 16-game win streak, and we're going to get our chance at them again here in about 11 days out in Portland. So a good stretch of basketball coming up here for the Cavs as they head out west. And on the home front, we're going to keep you covered here. It's going to be a lot of these types of shows from home. We're not going to be heading out west as much as we'd love to. We're going to be covering here from home. So with that being said, this is the expectation, right? Game goes final. We're coming live moments after. Spin and Spencer, they're out covering some of the MAC tournament tonight. So they're a little tied up here. So I'm obviously running solo here, but our whole team's going to be on subbing in and out throughout this West Coast road swing, and then into the playoffs as well. We're getting fired up for some new content ideas for you guys. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you're watching there, thank you. If you're watching on Twitter or on X, please make sure you're following. Head over to the other one, follow and subscribe, whatever other opposite one that you're on. And like I said earlier, head over to our site, si.com/NBA/Cavaliers, where our team's working hard, keeping that site full of fresh content here as the Cleveland Cavaliers continue to roll. Cavs, big winners tonight, 133-124 down in Memphis. We're keeping it short. I'm going to get out of here on that. Thanks for jumping in and hanging out with us. Until next time here on the Cleveland Cavaliers on SI YouTube channel.